All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at someone's memories of school and college.
Yeah, this is a really rich one. I mean, it covers everything from their favorite subjects to like how they handled being shy and finding their people.
It is, and I think it's something that a lot of our listeners will probably be able to relate to, because we've all been there.
Totally. Like who hasn't felt that awkwardness of trying to fit in during those school years? It's universal, right?
Absolutely. And in this deep dive, we're going to see how those experiences, even the awkward ones, can really shape us.
Definitely. And it's interesting to see how those themes kind of play out in this particular person's life, right?
Yeah, so let's dive in. Um, One of the first things that jumped out at me was this person's love for history. They had this incredible teacher, Mr. Teacher's name redacted.
Oh yeah, Mr. Teacher's Name Redacted was a legend, at least according to our source.
Right, like made history come alive kind of teacher, apparently. Makes you wonder, can one great teacher actually influence your whole future?
That's a great question. And, there's some research to back that up, actually. There was a study done at Stanford back in '93 that showed students who had really inspiring teachers in high school were way more likely to go on and get PhDs.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and get this, even in totally different subjects. Like, it wasn't just that they were good at history and then went on to study history. It was more like the inspiration they got from that teacher kind of ignited something in them,
Okay.
made them believe they could achieve at a high level.
That's incredible. It's like passion's contagious, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so moving on, this person also talked about being really shy at first.
Yeah. I mean, we all have those moments, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially in school, I think. But
Mm.
they eventually found their group, made some lifelong friends. So what's the secret there, do you think?
It's often about putting yourself out there, right? Like getting out of that comfort zone. Sometimes all it takes is joining a club or maybe trying out for the school play, something like that.
Something to kind of force you to interact.
Right, exactly. And build up that confidence and this person's story really highlights how like the friendships you form during those more, I guess you could say, vulnerable years, they can stick with you.
It's so true. I mean, I still remember my best friend from middle school. We bonded over, of all things, dissecting frogs in biology class.
Oh, wow. That's a bonding experience.
Right, but it just goes to show.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of academics, this person also talks about like feeling the pressure to succeed, which I'm sure we can all relate to. But how do you think those expectations have changed over time from then to now?
Hmm. Well, it's definitely a different landscape now, that's for sure. Like back then, it was probably all about getting good grades and getting into a good college, right? But these days, you've got social media, which adds like a whole other layer of comparison and pressure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And we can't forget about the rising cost of college, too.
Absolutely. It's like this huge financial burden. So, yeah, there's a lot more pressure to figure things out right away, like what you want to do, what you want to study, how you're going to pay for it all.
So much pressure, yeah.
Yeah.
But amidst all of that, this person actually managed to find their passion outside of the classroom. They were super into photography.
Oh, right. That's a good point. It really makes you think about the importance of like those extracurricular activities.
Right. It's not all about academics.
Exactly. They give you the space to, experiment, try new things, discover talents that you might not have even known you had. And it's not just about having fun either.
No, it's so much more than that.
Right. Like, think about it. You're developing leadership skills, teamwork, creative problem solving.
Hmm.
Those are all skills that employers look for, not just grades.
Exactly. It's like real world experience. And let's be honest, it's usually where a lot of the fun memories are made too.
Right. For sure. For sure.
Now, this person's transition from school to college, it sounds like it was a big turning point for them, like embracing independence, new experiences, all of that.
Oh, yeah. That's a huge leap. And I'd say it's even bigger today, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, think about it. You're navigating a whole new environment,
Oh.
building a new support system. You're responsible for managing your own time, finances. It's like adulting 101.
Exactly. And the skills you build during that time, they're the foundation for everything that comes after?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. So I guess to wrap things up, what can we all take away from this deep dive?
I think this deep dive really highlights the power of reflecting on your own experiences, like taking the time to look back at your own school and college years, both the good and the bad. It can help you understand how you got to where you are today, why you are the way you are.
So true. And maybe it'll even inspire some of our listeners to like dig out those old yearbooks or reconnect with someone from back in the day.
Yeah, love that.
But before we go, I want to leave you all with one final thought to ponder. What was your defining moment in school or college? And how did that moment shape the choices you made after?
It's a great question to think about because, let's face it, even though those years are over for most of us, the learning never really stops, does it?
That's so true. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
And we'll see you next time.
See you later.